Hello and welcome to Chat E here live in Monaco. It is of course now season 3, round 5 of the Formula E calendar. Now I am Nicki Shields. Alongside me is racing driver Mike Conway, who has experienced Formula E in season 2, 7 races racing for Venturi. And also we have got Bob Varsha, who's been in the commentary box for Formula E and is a bit of a legendary commentator. Hello to you both. Now we're here in Monaco. It's kind of like the birthplace of street racing, isn't it? So it's kind of perfect for Formula E. And Mike, you've actually won here in GPT. What does it mean to be here now on the commentary side rather than as a racer?
Yeah, I mean, in my second time on the commentary side, back in 2 years ago now. But yeah, before that, as you said, GP2 was my last time driving around here. And as you say, you really feel the history when you're here. You know, being here on the streets, every corner you just feel like, you know, you're becoming part of the history because so many talented drivers have won here and participated here. It's quite unique.
It does. It has so much history and heritage. Everyone loves coming to Monaco. I'm sure every driver loves racing at it. But Bob, you've actually been here in your Formula 1 days as a commentator. What does it mean to be back here with Formula E?
Well, you know, the amazing thing about Monaco, with all due respect to Formula E and all the other series that race here, I'm looking at you, Formula 1, is the fact that this is such a fascinating place on a normal workday. But bring in all of that history. This is the 75th year of the Grand Prix here on the streets of Monte Carlo, and it just makes it that much better because it's so important to drivers like Mike, to the teams, to the fans. It's just an iconic venue. Difficult for the racers, but thrilling for the fans, and it's just spectacular to be here.
It is indeed, and fingers crossed the rain is going to hold off for the next half an hour while we're live on Chatty. But we're standing outside the Jaguar garage. They had a pretty awesome race last time in Mexico. Both drivers finished in the points, but joining us now is not a racing driver, but instead a YouTube car vlogger, Mr. JWW. If you'd like to come and join us, you're here as a guest of Jaguar. Lovely to see you. Nice to see you.
Hello.
How's things?
Great.
Now, tell us, this is not the environment that we would normally expect to see you in. It's normally, yes, in a fast car, but what are you doing here at Formula E?
So I'm the guest of Panasonic Jaguar Racing, and as you quite rightly said, they plucked me out of the sort of petrol-powered world, and they're immersing me in this new series. So yeah, it's an exciting time. Electric.
What do you think your fans are going to say when they see your, you know, rubbing shoulders with these electric fans?
Well, do you know what? The build-up here, I've been putting out quite a lot of social to gauge the vibe. The questions that I've been having have been relentless, which is a great sign, and everyone's really excited about it. What's been great is the more info that I've given to them, because I'm coming at this completely fresh, so I'm learning. And every time I put out some info, they're like, no way, can we ask this question, can we ask that? So
what's the most common question then?
The number one question is, how does it differ from conventional petrol engine stuff, really? And talking with the drivers, the management of the cars, I sort of naively approached it thinking it was more simple than it was. The management of like brake bias, management of battery temperature, it's endless.
Right, you know a thing or two about that?
Yeah, I mean, it keeps you very busy in the cockpit.
Yeah.
You know, you'll have a few laps where you can obviously drive, you'll be driving flat out, but trying to manage the energy. But as the race goes on, yeah, it does become very tricky with the temperatures. The regen starts to drop, and yeah, as the drivers say, the brake balance is a really key thing because you've got so much torque comes from the motor that acts as the braking, and then when that starts to degrade, you know, that's when your brake balance starts going forward, and then you're shifting it all the way back again. So yeah, it's constant.
Have you got all that? Because that's going to need to be in your next posting. Based on what you've seen in the data thus far, what's the social media response been to Formula E and specifically to Jaguar in their first year in the series?
As I say, it's been brilliant. I mean, normally I'm posting sort of high octane stuff, and because the content is fairly new to my channel, the questions have been endless. So it's been great because being here firsthand, I can just go and ask a driver there and then and be like, oh, by the way, bang, you know. So it's been great, yeah.
You've got some experts around. Well, one man who has actually been in this series for quite a long time is James Barkley, the team principal. If you'd like to come and join us, come and join James. James and James. How are you doing, James? Congratulations. Double points finish in Mexico. What a result.
Yeah, no, it's a really, really great result for us. We're very happy as a team. You know, we always said this year's going to be a learning year for us, and it's been great. We're getting ourselves into the points finishing positions, and to be in a position where we could take advantage of that situation and get our first results. You know, first points, 4th for Mitch and 8th for Adam was brilliant.
So what can we expect this weekend?
Well, you know, we've been really pragmatic, as you know, in all of this about kind of what we expect from results-wise. It's really, for us, it's about building on the first 4 races we've done and developing as we move through the rest of the year. But really, importantly, a result like Mexico just gives the whole team a massive boost. You know, we've got a great team of people. We're doing some great work, and we're starting to see those results pay off. So for us, it's about continuing to put ourselves into points positions. And like we said at the start of the year, we'll hopefully then have moments where we can take advantage of that and get ourselves really towards the front end of the grid. And we know how competitive the championship is, but it's a massive shot in the arm for everyone to get that result.
James, you and I spoke earlier, and I think you're still walking on a cloud. You couldn't get the smile off your face talking about Mexico. How's that been reflected back in the factory, throughout the company?
Yeah, you know, I must say I'm massively proud of all the work the team have done. We're a brand new team, and you know, since we launched last September with a brand new team of people, we've in a short space of time designed, developed, built, and put together this great race team. But this year is our learning year. So for me, it's and for the rest of the team, it was a really proud result. But it's just a start. We have a long journey to go, and you need those early results though to just get that momentum going. For a bit of payoff for all the hard work that we've really put into it. And if you look at the step change since Hong Kong to now, it's really exciting. So we're just looking forward to building on that really. And you know, we're hard racers. We come to give it our best, and we've shown that so far. We really just want to let our action on track do the talking for us, and we're starting to see that, which is really exciting.
Well done.
Awesome. Thank you to both of you for joining us. Now, if you are watching, I know that you can actually join James and the Jaguar team a little bit later. You're going to be doing some Facebook Lives. So if you want to catch more from him, tune in. We'll see you later. Thank you. Enjoy the race, James. It's quite interesting. I was talking to James Barclay, this is earlier, and obviously we're at the start of the European leg. And he was saying that when we go to Berlin, Jaguar have got 500 guests coming. 500 guests, which just shows how important it is for the team, to really, really invest in Formula E.
And more momentum for the series. Fabulous, yes.
Absolutely. Now, one man who celebrated his birthday in Mexico with the pole position, but then didn't go quite so well, is Oliver.
Step in. And
come join us. How are you today?
Yeah, very good. Glad to be here in Monaco. Yeah, lovely place to have a race.
Now, I know we'll try and look forward, but let's just quickly touch upon, obviously, what happened in Mexico, because you stopped on the track after you were doing such a fantastic job with that pole position. Just tell us what has been learnt from that in the garage after the race. Oh dear, is it that bad?
Picture told that story.
It was, really frustrating. We had a really positive weekend, and to get pole position, my first pole in Formula E, and to make a good start and to be leading the race. The first stint I felt really under control and felt comfortable in the lead. So yeah, to have a technical problem when you're leading the race is obviously a real shame and really frustrating for everyone, not only me, the whole team. So yeah, it took a few days to get over, but you get over it quickly, and you move on to the next one and come back stronger and come here fighting to try and get in the same position again here in Monaco.
And I mean, I know it was a battery problem, but do you actually know specifically what it was? Is it something that you can prevent from happening again, or is it just one of those things?
Yeah, I mean, we'd analysed everything after the race, and I think we understand what happened. So hopefully it'll never happen again. And you have to learn from your mistakes, and hopefully, it won't happen again. And we'll keep growing as a team, and keep getting stronger. And it just makes me more motivated to get back into that position, and certainly be giving it my best here in Monaco.
You really have been giving it your best this season. I mean, you've been in Super Pole every single race so far, and obviously being in Monaco when qualifying is so important, that puts you in quite a good position, hopefully. Yeah,
definitely. I think certainly the team did a great job with this season's car over the winter and or over the summer even. We had a much more competitive package this season, and I think qualifying's been certainly one of my strengths, and being able to nail a single lap, and I think coming here in Monaco, it's obviously important to get a good qualifying, and I'm feeling confident and looking forward to getting out on track tomorrow.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Oliver. Good luck.
Good luck. Seal the deal. Good luck.
you know, Mike, obviously you've raced here. We do know that qualifying is important, but how do you put in a good lap? When you know that pressure
it is very important,
is so
especially here.
important.
Yeah, as you say, it's very tricky. But as Oliver said, and you rightly said, he's been in the top 6 every qualifying, and that's really hard to do in Formula E because you do get the only just one chance at the 200 kilowatt lap with fresh tyres, and sometimes it throws things at you that you don't quite expect. So, yeah, it's been really impressive. And again, you're going to need to do the same here because it is quite tricky to overtake.
Are you impressed at the performance that we're seeing from the next EV car this season? It feels like they really have turned that corner that they were hoping to do so.
Well, you're right. There are teams that have been consistently good. There are teams that have consistently struggled. But that's a team that started out on a high, went to the lows last year, and they are coming back, as you say, this year. So that's great to see. It must be horribly frustrating, but the product of a lot of very hard work, too.
Absolutely. Well, we're standing outside the Amlin Andretti team, and I can see a couple of the drivers over there. Who's going to come and join them? They're all here, and they're all being shy. Come on, guys, come and join us. JF Thorman and Roger Griffiths. Right, the camera's that way, so you better turn around. We want to see your lovely faces.
In the middle there.
Between
very good.
Conway and Bob Barsha, love it.
Yeah, we're in the Wrong Racing Championship.
Exactly. So
Now, you've had quite an exciting time recently,
it's been
doing a bit of Indy testing with Alonso.
sure have, and it was really good. Over 2 million people checked it out. So I've been asking everybody along pit lane, and they're saying, you know, can you believe 2 million people? And they all go, yep, I was one of them. So
We saw you in the background, hopping around.
Did I look busy?
Oh, a little bit. No, you did.
That's quite a trick you pulled on your defending race winner, Alexander Rossi. He comes back a defending champion, and you bring in this Spanish guy. I don't know, he's like won a couple of Formula One World Championships, and now you've got to deal with twice the press attention, I would think.
It's good. That's a good news, bad news, but for us it was really good. And you know, Michael and Zach Brown have been really good friends, and they think the same. And I think for the sport, it's been fantastic. For all involved, even for F1, I think it was. And he's special. He really is good. But what's good about him is he knows the challenge that he's got coming to him, and he's being very humble. And so hopefully, you know, like last year we won with a rookie, so let's do it again.
No pressure, Alonso. Mike, now you've obviously had experience with the Andretti team at the Indy 500. Tell us about that.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, back in 2011, wasn't it? So, yeah, I mean, Indy's just one of those races where it's just very special. These guys know they've done it many times, and yeah, I mean, Alonso's going to be having an amazing time learning all the processes, and as they said, they've got a great team around them. Great teammates. They're really going to help him. I'm sure he couldn't be in a better place to get prepared. So, yeah, it's great to see it all unfold.
Good. Well, back to Formula E for a bit. Roger, tell us how you think things are going for the team this season.
It's been a little bit frustrating, to be honest. I mean, we started off well in Hong Kong, and very pleased with the result there. But I really feel that we haven't got the results that justify the effort that we've put in. And the guys have worked unbelievably hard. I mean, you know, the cars always run fine. You know, the engineering team does a great job. It's just, you know, Lady Luck is not with us right now, and we need to do something, and maybe we should go up to the casino and bet on a few things and try and change it. So I brought my tuxedo anyhow, so dressed.
I'm feeling lucky, let's go.
So I think we need a little bit of that. I mean, racing can be like that. You can execute everything as you plan, and then for whatever reason something happens, and you know, we had an unfortunate mistake in Mexico City that cost us, you know, potentially a podium position, and it's just frustrating. But you know, what's great about it is that the guys behind it all, they're not getting down, they're not letting it get to them. They're working really hard. They sort of shrug their shoulders and say, okay, on to the next one. And you know, we're here in Monaco, and we're looking for a great result.
Excellent. Well, speaking of the Amlin team, I can see Robin Frains over there. Come and join us. We've got the whole Andretti crew. Oh gosh, and another one. Oh no, not him. How are you? Well, actually, we should ask you first, because you've got a bit of an injury, I believe. How's that swollen knee?
It's right. I drove last weekend, so finished on the podium. So I hope I'll do the same thing here.
Okay. Sorry, what was that?
I had a bit of a bad cough. Sorry, I said the cough covered up what I wanted to say, which was he was lucky.
He had an insult stuck in his throat. Yeah.
Lucky, but although, despite you're always generally quite rude about Robin, actually yesterday in our race predictions, you did predict that Robin was going to be on the podium, which is quite nice.
Yeah, you have my bank account number now, yeah? No, I did. No, because I told you, I saw in his eyes this weekend, he's got, already from the sim session, he's been fired up. So it's good because we push each other. So
he also said all you do is focus on times and your laps, and you're not bothered about regenerating and looking at the energy. So then he was a little bit rude.
That was the beginning of the season. That's changed now.
Yeah, but Robin's brain is like 95% lap time, and then 5% of, okay, regen, okay, I'll do a bit of that too, no problem.
But that's changing now, isn't it? You realise how important regen is in Formula E.
It is, yeah. At the beginning, I was from the out lap on pushing, like, same as Antonio, but now, we a bit more as a team, and I love to race against Antonio. Mm-hmm. He's been a great teammate, honest, and he's pushing me, so I'm enjoying it.
Well, Antonio, you are a bit of a master at street circuits, having won twice at Macau. Are you excited to be racing in Monaco?
Yes, I am. It's, in all honesty, like, this place is really cool. Like, all the heritage and the history here is special, and to have a Formula E championship with it's only our third season now, and we're here in the F1 paddock doing our thing, doing what we do best, and there's so many good drivers here, and I think we're going to have a really good race. It is a hard track to overtake and to produce a nice show, but after what we've seen in Mexico and all the alternative strategies that are out there, possible to do, I think everyone's got a little bit of something up the sleeve, and it's going to be a good race for sure.
Be an interesting one, the strategy with the pit stops, but we'll discuss that one later. Well, guys, thank you so much. Have an awesome race.
Yes.
Good luck. We'll see you later.
Month of May in all your series. Thank you.
See you, Mike.
Yeah.
See you guys. Have a good one.
Now, I have a question. Did we just set a record for eChat with 7 people together at one time on camera?
It's impressive.
I think we did.
And they actually
did
wanted
we actually
to
all
come.
fit on camera? Were we all in it? Or do we all need to go on a bit of a diet? Do we all fit right? Where are we now? Venturi. And I can see 2 drivers there. Come and join us.
Another 2.
Maro Engel and Stefan Sarazan. How are you both?
Hey, man.
How are you?
Okay?
Are you well?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Yeah. Enjoying being in Monaco?
Yeah, it's great to be home.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So that.
Marc, do I understand this is the first time you have raced anything here in your hometown?
Yeah, in terms of cars, yeah. First time I can race a car through the streets I grew up in, so it's great. Raced a go-kart here, but that's about it.
Yeah. That's a pretty fascinating story.
I'm guessing you didn't race a go-kart on the track that we're going to be doing tomorrow.
Actually, it's where we're standing here was, I think, one of the straights. I think, Mike, you did it as well?
GP2, yeah.
No, go-kart. The go-kart race.
So, sorry, yeah, this was one of the back straights, and then hay bales,
exactly.
lots of that stuff in the way.
All times. And then we raced down here and around the Rascas, so it's not too dissimilar, but obviously a completely different thing.
I mean, this is obviously a much shorter version than the Grand Prix circuit that most fans will know in their head. Do you think it suits the Formula E car and the way that the races kind of pan out, or would you prefer to be doing the full track?
I think everyone would love to pass the casino. I mean, that would be amazing. But I think the track we have here is really cool. Obviously, for me, I'm new to it. Stefan knows it from season 1, and I think it was challenging. It looks challenging. I think overtaking's not easy but doable, and so I think it's a really good track for Formula E.
Well, let's ask Stefan, as the senior member of the teams, as a Frenchman, you know what Monaco means to motorsports, and to you yourself. What does it mean to race here in Formula E at Monaco after a year away?
Yes, it's very special for us. We are based here on the mountain, so it's important to race this weekend, especially for Gildo. He came from New York and he's pushing after us. We are very excited. We are ready with Maro, and we give our best. We like this track on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we were talking earlier about how at this race there are a couple of different laps where you could pit. How tactical is that going to become in the race, and what strategy do you think you'll go for? Is it better to pit earlier or later? That's a silly question, really.
We're coming in lap 20. No, it is actually a race where you have a bit more options to play with, just because it looks like traffic could be a bigger issue here, and I think derating, temperature derating towards the end, so battery temperature could be a little bit less critical. So I think there is some options to play with, but again, there'll be an ideal strategy and one where which will be including traffic. So it just depends on where you are. You know, if you're being held up or if you're more on the defensive side, that'll determine what strategy to go for.
I don't mean to tempt fate here, and I'm sure there's not a chance in the world that it's going to rain tomorrow during the race, but if it were to, what would that do to the streets of Monaco, Stefan?
We didn't do any race since the first season on the wet, just testing at Donington.
At least
in
you
England.
wouldn't have to pit for tyres anyway. That's
So yeah, we have the tires ready for wet or dry, the same tire, so it will be low grip for sure. No, it will be exciting, but apparently it will be dry. I hope for the spectators better.
Spoken like a true rallyist.
Exactly. Well, I really hope it's going to be dry. Thank you both very much. Have a good
luck.
race.
Yes, bon chance.
Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, it would be nice to see a wet race in Formula E, just to see how the cars perform.
It'd be very
and
interesting
how
round
those
here.
tyres perform.
Very
I
slippery,
don't know if this
I'm
is
sure.
the venue, but it would be interesting.
No, perhaps not. I mean, I don't like to tempt fate again, but how many safety cars do you reckon we're going to have tomorrow?
Well, I mean, it's as we saw last year, you know, what can happen at turn 1 and turn 2. Very easy to get the track blocked, so you know, you never know. We may see some of that again. They have adjusted turn 1 a little bit for the drivers, but again, it's still very tight. So it is going to be interesting, and I think talking on strategy as well, you could see the undercut here with track position being so important. So yeah, I think that first part of the race is going to be quite key to the result here.
Excellent. Well, a new face in the Formula E pit lane is indeed Formula One legend and now commentary pundit, Johnny Herbert. Hello, how are you? Very good. Welcome to your first chatty. Yes. Are you enjoying the Monaco life, but the electric style instead?
Yeah, well, I'm going to have to wait and see. I haven't actually seen it yet on track, but I've been watching you guys, so I know what it's like. I like the racing because the racing is proper racing, wheel-to-wheel battles that we're going on. I only have to go back to Mexico, I think, don't I, to see where that went. Exactly. So it'll be really interesting to see them on track. But looking at the cars, it's great because there's a little bit more sort of basicness to them as far as sort of the way the suspension is set up. There's even those little dampers where you can click a little bit of bump or rebound on them. That's something, and it's something, you know, in Formula One that's completely different. You know, the engineers really sort of do everything on the car itself. So it's great to see that, and of course the technology of the batteries as well.
So where are you going to be watching the race from?
I'm with sort of the Dragon Faraday Future guys, so I'm going to be with them. I know Keith Smout, who's been around for a long time in racing, so it's good. It's a good place to come. You know, the Monaco Grand Prix, as we know, is sort of historic, and of course it's great that we've got Formula E here on a slightly shorter circuit. Does that matter? Absolutely not, because we know that the racing is the most important thing.
What does it mean to you when you come back to Monaco? What memories does it bring back?
It's always that sun, although it's gone in at the moment, but it's always that sun that is normally out there. So, no, it's just, again, it's always about the history of the racing that I remember seeing as a sort of a young kid, being involved myself and loving this track. I thought this was always one of the qualifying track. It was just awesome because you were just between those barriers. You couldn't make a mistake, because if you did make a mistake, you were out of here. And then the challenge is exactly the same with the drivers we got here in the Formula E, because the challenge is what racing is all about. And I think when you come to a track like this, and you guys do a lot of street tracks, which is great, and that challenge is there.
And just touching on the track, I mean, some of these guys, it's the first time they're going to be driving here. You know, what was it like for you the first time when you were allowed out of pit lane and to get that real feel for what Monaco is all about?
Daunting, I suppose, to start with, but again, because of the way the barriers are, they're like a 3-level tier of them, and especially when you come through the swimming pool, that is where that speed sort of really comes to be
track starts to narrow up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly, and it used to be quite bumpy as you braked on the exit of the swimming pool. I think that's a little bit different now, and it's opened up. They've got that runoff area as well. But what I loved about it was just the challenge of slotting it, and now and again, actually, it was to back corner. I used to love being able to get to the outside, just hitting the rear wheel on the barrier, and then it would go and it would resonate down the barrier as it got to the swimming pool. I didn't do it very often, unfortunately, so I wasn't perfect. I tried to.
Normally it's a mistake and they just claim that you managed to do it.
Yeah, that was normally a whack.
It is quite amazing to see all the marks on these barriers. You know, that you think of all the legendary drivers that have just left
Champions of all, they got it.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, it's good to have you here, and I hope you enjoy the race tomorrow. Now, we are standing outside the Mahindra Racing Garage, and the team principal, Dilbag Gill, is hanging around. So, Dilbag, come and join us for a little bit. How are you? Nice to see you.
Likewise, how are you
Well,
guys?
how are you?
How you been?
Very well.
So tell us, how's it going in Monaco for you?
Well, so far so good. Nothing's happened yet, so that's nice because the moment the cars get on track, Monaco's a distant memory from last time. Bruno had a spectacular shunt out here, so our race was really short out here.
Pretty legendary.
That was,
I mean, in a maybe not so legendary way, but it definitely made a mark on the Monaco ePrix.
Yes, it did make a mark on Monaco ePrix, made a mark on a chassis also. We had to change it after
the
that.
Barrier
So
too.
it was quite a lot of damage in that one, yeah.
But hopefully we won't have a repeat of that this time. But let's have a quick chat about how the driver's doing, because Felix Rosenqvist is new to Formula E and he has put in some pretty awesome performance so far, hasn't he? I think he's got 2 of the fastest laps.
That's right, he's got like 2 fastest laps. He takes to circuit pretty quickly, and that's good about Felix. The thing also we remember, he spent a lot of time in the car before the season started. So he did a lot of testing, and I think today for a new driver, it's been really challenging for a guy to come in. And while Felix has come out, but there's a lot of preparation which has gone on, and he's taken it very seriously, so that's really nice. Because Felix is spending a lot of time in the simulator right now.
I mean, that's a big part of it nowadays, isn't it? The simulator time, preparing for all the new tracks is a great way to learn things.
I think the sim is where the investments are going in right now, because if you look at the powertrains, everyone's come within a percentage of each other. So it's more of driver prep, strategy, etc. And I think that's where, if you can call it, the arms race is going to be happening going forward in those areas.
Well, thank you very much, Dilbag, and good luck for the race tomorrow. Fingers crossed that turn 1 is a nice, smooth start.
Nico Prost is not near us.
We'll tell Nico Prost to stay well away when we speak to him in a minute.
in motorsports, no.
Of course not.
Does not happen.
It's going to be etched on his memory forevermore, I'm sure. But it's that turn 1 is pretty tight, isn't it?
Yeah.
With the new formation, there's that sharp, hard right at Saint-Devote. I mean, could we see chaos again?
Oh, we very well could. And it was interesting. We went out earlier today for the track walk, and they hadn't painted the lines on the track, so all the drivers are kind of looking around like, where's the apex of the corner going to be?
Yeah,
So-
I mean, all the cars running down into turn 1, cold tires, cold brakes,
It's a tricky one.
something's bound to happen.
Well, let's find out what he thinks. Jerome D'Ambrosio, come and tell us what you think of turn 1 and how the start of this
Jerome.
race is going to go tomorrow. Hello, how are you?
My teammate.
Yeah,
Next
next to his teammate. Jeez, I'm not going to talk much to him.
Of course, yeah.
He's not
So
gonna
to
give any
explain,
secrets away.
Mike Conway is stepping in to replace Loic Deval next week in Paris when he's at DTM. But we were just talking about the start. How do you think the start is going to go tomorrow?
I think turn 1 is going to be better than year 1. I think year 1, I mean, the entry on the corner shouldn't be a problem, but year 1, you had this wide exit that turned into like a tighter at the end, and it was easy to just crush people, like, misjudging the whole thing. Here, you're gonna exit the corner, I think, in line, and so you won't have that crash. You shouldn't have that crash at the exit. It's more about during the race. The way the corner is tighter, you're gonna be a little bit more on the right for the braking zone. That means it's gonna be a little bit more tricky with people coming out the box during the pit stop time, maybe in free practice as well. But for the rest, I think it's an improvement.
And can we just quickly touch upon what happened in Mexico between yourself and John-Eric Verne? And I suppose a chance to give your point of view of what actually happened.
Well, I mean, it's so there's different things. I mean, there's many things happened during that race. I think first, the first thing is what happened with my strategy and with the energy. Basically, it's just a little glitch in the system that from lap 7, 7 laps to go, somehow I got a different information on the dash. It changed and it went to 1 lap less. So basically, when I crossed the line, I thought I'd finished the race, and so the whole targets were wrong, and so on. That's what happened. After that, for the fight with Jeff and the other guys, Jeff seemed to be. The other guys were all fine with it. I spoke with the FIA after. I was sat in the plane next to actually one of the stewards, and he said, "Jerome, it was a brilliant race, great race, good for the show, and you stayed within the rules, so it was all fine." I guess it's just Jeff seemed to be all worked up with it, but I guess some of us, when they it just takes 2 good races after a very difficult season for them to be flying very high again. And be a bit arrogant, and I think that's the whole thing there.
Well, Jeff says he's good with it, so good luck this weekend, and I hope Franco-Belgian relations remain calm.
Good.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Yes?
Thank you.
You're gonna...
Good luck, man.
Yeah, another grudge being
well
in the pit lane there. But do you think they'll get over it?
Oh, yeah. I think, well, Mike could probably add more than I ever could. I mean, yes, racers get excited. Sometimes they get emotional. Sometimes they get downright angry. But eventually they forget about it.
And there is a new racing driver, Sam Bird. Come and join us. Oh, should we? Come on, Daniel. Who can come in together? I mean, standing outside the Virgin Racing garage. What's going on?
How are you, mate? You okay?
He wants some tips, right. Yeah, after your pole position in Mexico, do you feel like you're deserved? So you did have the pole position, but then, of course, due to the tyre pressures, it was snatched away from you. Do you feel like you deserve that pole position here in Monaco this weekend?
I mean, it's a new race, you know. You're not gonna get anything back just because of a disqualification. Obviously, the performance was really good last time, and yeah, a mistake cost us a lot. But it's a new chance. I feel very well with the car and the performance at the moment. So, I'm gonna try my best to repeat it and then hopefully keep it.
Well, I suppose it does make sense that you're getting tips from Sam Bird, because how many times have you actually won at this circuit?
Just 2 at the moment.
Oh, I think that's just 2. That's pretty good going.
At the moment.
At the
2 so far.
Okay,
Yeah,
at
so
the
far.
moment. Right,
I'm
okay.
hoping that this time tomorrow it might be different.
Okay, excellent. How are you feeling ahead of tomorrow? I know it is a place that you have really enjoyed racing at in the past, and no doubt looking forward to it tomorrow.
Everybody enjoys it here, Nicki. I mean, every driver here, all 20. I mean, Daniel loves the driving, and I think Saturday night is going to be spectacular. So, every driver loves, every driver,
you guys hang out.
Every driver loves coming here because it's the glitz, it's the glam, it's a place you enjoy driving millimeters away from the walls. It's just a great atmosphere. We really hope that all of these seats and these amazing grandstands on this great backdrop will be full, and we can put on a great show.
And the Virgin team are doing quite well at the moment. I mean, you guys have just moved into 3rd in the team's championship.
Yeah, but that's not where we want to be, Nicki. We want to be a bit higher up, overtaking those boys in red and blue. So it's been a mixed bag. I've had 2 non-scores, 2 podiums, and I need to now get cracking if I want to catch the other boys up.
Okay, awesome. Well, sadly, that is all we've got time for here on Chatty, but thank you for joining us. We spent too long talking to the other better drivers. So sorry.
Good luck this week.
Yeah, no, good luck. We hope to see you both on the podium.
Good luck.
Well, that was a good catch up.
Yeah, it flew by. Yeah.
It does fly by.
But yeah,
what are your
good to,
final thoughts?
Get the views on everyone. I mean, as everybody's been saying, you know, this is such a cool circuit. They love being here, and I think they're all excited about getting out on track tomorrow. And I think, yeah, it's going to be an interesting race. There's going to be a few different strategies play out. Yeah, I'm excited.
Well, let's have a quick chat about the fan boost, because currently it is Jean-Eric Verne that is leading the fan boost, followed by Lucas de Grassi. Who would your fan boost go for?
You know, I'm beginning to become a booster of Jean-Eric Verne. Here's a guy who is probably the most successful driver in Formula One who has yet to win a race, and he's been close. Yeah. So let's hope tomorrow is his day.
Yeah, he shows some great speed. But I'm sure, you know, Seb, he needs to get back on a roll again and score some points. So I'm sure he's praying he can get the fan boost, and if he needs it, to get some overtaking maneuvers done. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Mike Conway, Bob Varsha, thank you both very much. Thank you guys for watching Chatty, and do join us for the race. The Monaco ePrix gets underway at 4 p.m. local time, and we look forward to seeing you then.